that the MBBS graduate or a dental graduate or a nursing graduate goes out, the thing that the whole thing will be totally flat. No? Many people think BP 180, 120 by 80 means it will be 128 by 80 all the time. And milieu interior is maintained at a relatively constant state, is built in so much during physiology that other variation, that human biological functions exhibit predictable cyclical variability, that is given a steps motherly treatment, so to say, sort of ignored. And so it is, in somewhere not even read, or if it is read, it is not remembered. So I have seen several cases. I have just put up one example. A novice GP referred a case. I have seen this case about 25 years ago in Jipmer OPD, saying that BP recording yesterday evening in the primary health center was 118 by 80. Today at 10 o'clock it is 128 by 84. So hypertensive emergency, rush to casualty in Jipmer. Actually I got a call from Jipmer casualty. We went all the way and found this chap, and after 5 minutes of horizontal position, his BP was normal. So that I was not blaming the doctor, I was blaming the system that created such doctors, that they think that variation from 118 to 128 is hypertensive emergency that deserves admission in an emergency at Jipmer casualty. So that is the kind of doctors we create, and that was a lesson on this importance of circadian variation. I have seen similar cases, blood sugar variation, cholesterol varies. In winter it goes up, in summer it comes down. So they will keep diagnosing cases are hyperlipidemias, whereas in summer it will be normal. So they have said that 84% of women who are studied and about 57% of men who are studied go into this borderline hyperlipidemic range in winter, but they are totally normal in summer. So if you want to test your lipids in our lab, please do it in May, June. Don't give it in November and get labeled as a cholesterol wicked. The whole talk is dedicated to Hippocrates, who was wise enough to say that when you treat patients, first consider the season of the year, what effects the season produces, and also realize that there is a lot of differences related to this. And if you dig Ayurvedic literature, I am sure these things are there. Even choosing the plant for treatment, they say the time of the day is important and all that. So chronobiology is a spectrum, and the variations in physiology according to the time of the day, the circadian rhythm, time of the month, time of the year, or even period of one's life, whether it is the menstrual reproductive age group or postmenopausal or pre-menarche. In women it's very easy to trifurcate a lifespan. In men it is a little more difficult, but it can be done. So variations occur, and all that constitutes the biological rhythm. We call it ultra DNA if it is less than few hours, milliseconds to few hours. Neuronal cycles in the nervous system runs in milliseconds, and circadian rhythm is of around a day, and infradian rhythm several days to monthly or even long years apart. Like the ones related to El Nino, they say 7 to 9 years now. The ones related to solar cycle is 11 years cycle. So these are all active areas of research, more on animals and biological systems rather than humans. But in humans there is a lot of interest in chronobiology called chronopharmacology, chronotherapeutics and chronopharmaceuticals. And chronopharmacodynamics, chronopharmacokinetics. Now tomorrow we will be having a panel discussion on all this. So I won't talk about that. And physiological function has been studied and classified in humans as the peak time for sleep, blood flow, heart rate, various things have been measured in normal human volunteers. So those are well documented. And this I am sure either it would have already been covered in the opening talk or someone else will talk, so I leave it to them. The transcription mechanism for circadian clock has been worked out, And as a clinician, at least these we are interested in. Circadian rhythm influences the following: hypertension, myocardial infarction, stroke, asthma, peptic ulcer, hyperlipidemias, hypercholesterolemia, glaucoma, cancer therapy, arthritis.